Hey guys, so I left off saying that everything was going really perfectly. We were like a couple dating. I would say it's what I've heard as the bubble love phase. We went on some amazing dates. He brought me on a float plane ride that we went over Vancouver and over water and the mountains. It was just like my dream date that day. We went and shot guns at a gun range for fun. We went to drive on sort of like a long little drive to go to like a lake one day and sat and had a glass of wine by the lake. Yeah, we just did so many nice activities, and then we would balance it off with a lot of just spending time and just being close, like all the cuddling and watching movies. And we did really take our time. It took some time before we slept together, and we were blocked anyways. Like I said, we didn't see each other for a month in between there, and then there was 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks from when I met him, and so it was maybe a month and a half, but the chemistry was just incredible, and each time it just got better and better and better. Everything was just going so amazingly well. My friend came to town and I introduced him. We went for dinner, and my friend was like, wow, you two look, you're just amazing together. Like, she saw something. I remember I told him about it, and I think it scared him at the time. But everything was just going so wonderfully. He had to go away again for his work, and he came back, and I surprised him. I told him I'd pick him up at the airport, but I surprised him, and I had everything ready to make him a nice dinner. And I don't know, I just saw the way he received that, and he just seemed really smitten, and I was so smitten by him, and just wanted to sort of dote on him and show him how I cared. But when he went away for this work trip, he found out that he was no longer going to need to be in Vancouver, and all of a sudden our mood just shifted. I could feel this fear coming over both of us. And when he went away that time, he realized that he missed me, and I could tell it was weighing on him. The problem is, not a problem, but for us it's difficult because I have a child here, he has a child where he lives, which is halfway across the world. And we just had this fear come over us, and we're trying to just sort of remain positive, but I could tell we were both in such fear, like, what's going on now? Shortly after that, his friend had planned to come to town. A different friend that I had never met had planned to come to town and visit and, enjoy Vancouver, which is where I live. And as soon as his friend came, all of a sudden he disappeared. And I was like, what is going on? When my friend came to town, I brought him to hang out with us right away. And I really did. I just felt him push me away, and I felt so unimportant to him. I remember him just kind of doing boy stuff and, having all the guys over, and I just felt so left out. And, him and his friend would go out to bars and stuff, and I'd worry that he's, meeting women. And one night he texted me to tell me that his friend picked up a chick and she was there. And I was like, again, I got so pissed off at him. We got in a big fight just over that. I was like, oh, so you have a girl from the bar there and you don't even invite me to meet your friend, sort of a vibe. And he was like, okay, whatever. And again, we got in this big, huge fight, and things started falling apart so badly. It was getting really bad, and again, we broke it off. I said, let's put an end to this shit. I was so mad. He went to Vegas, and he was ignoring me, and he came back, and I just said, let's just put an end to this. It was a mess. Like, the bubble burst right then. And the universe was just making it that we would have to be apart, and it had come up. We knew we'd have to be apart, and I think we're both freaked out. So, I remember we got into this big, huge fight, and again, shortly after, I was trying to make up with him, and he he was still a little bit distant with me, but I was like, okay, look, I didn't mean it. I was just really upset. I felt like I meant nothing to you when your friend came to town. You ignored me. He said he felt like he had done nothing wrong, but then he started to come around saying he gets it a little bit. So we started hanging out again, and his birthday was coming up. And again, I did a really nice surprise for him. He was working on his birthday, so I went to his place and I put like a balloon and a cupcake and a card, and I told him I'd see him the next day because we had a plan. And I don't know, he was just really surprised and he seemed really pleased with what I had done for him to show I cared. My card was really heartfelt. I think I even put a picture collage of us in there of just dumb little pictures, and I think he must have thought I was such a weirdo. And it was not like me, you know, especially for something. I'd only really hung out with him for maybe a month, month and a half, and known him for 3 months or something by then. So we were gonna go for his birthday the next day, and we did. We went to a friend of his place for his birthday, and we went back to his place, and we always had such chemistry. Like, we would make jokes, like we couldn't keep our hands off of each other. We would always like make jokes, so we ended up in the bedroom, and I really thought I was, you know, I don't know, I thought I was not the most sexual person anymore. I thought I was just sort of over that in a way, you know. I just didn't think that was in me, and he brought something out of me that I was really blown away. And I remember that we slept together that night, and that must have been when my kundalini opened up, because oh my god, it was like he was going to be leaving and something happened. It was intense. It felt like a charge of light was coming through me into him, and it was different. Something was so different. And by the end of it, I was just like, I feel like I traveled somewhere else. And he was also just there, like, that was euphoric. And we were just kind of describing, like, what just happened there. That was so weird. And I now know that that was, you know, the sacred sex. We did literally travel into like another dimension, I believe. Something was really strange. And afterwards we laid down and I put my head on his chest and I was bursting. I had to say it. And the words, "I love you," it just like popped out of me. And I've never said I love you to a guy first. It was almost like a rule in my mind. You don't say it first. The guy should say it to a girl first. Like, one of my little paradigms, I guess, or, you know, my conditions I had been brought up to sort of think, or I felt that as a protection. I would never say it to a guy first. Even when guys have said it to me in the past, even if I felt it, I would wait a while to say it back on purpose. So this was so out of my comfort zone. And it was like, as soon as I said it, the air was thick. It just paused. And he was like, "And I love you." He calmed down for a second when he said, "And I love you." And then all of a sudden it went into like this intensity again. He's like, "Oh, but what are we gonna do? I'm leaving." And it was all this stress. And I was just like, kind of like calm, like, it's okay. Like, I know we'll work it out. Like, we'll find a way. Don't worry. Like, we'll always be in touch. And he just seemed so distressed. He knew he was leaving. We were, you know, it could be the end. So right after that, all of a sudden, it was weird. He pulled away, and that was definitely some running going on. And I was trying not to chase, but I was kind of chasing at the time. I was giving him space. I was being quiet, but I remember writing and saying, "I hope I didn't pressure you to say you love me back." And he said, "No." He's like, "I fell for you ages ago." And at that time, like I said, we only knew each other for like 3 months. So I was like, oh, you know, I felt really good about that. But then he was just so distant from me that his actions weren't matching up to the words that we had just exchanged. And I started freaking out. I started getting really nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I told him I love him. Oh my God, oh my God. It was my first time feeling so vulnerable. I can't describe it, and so scared. And Christmas was coming up, and he was going back to England to see, his whole family and his son. And all of a sudden he just pulled away completely. He was being so quiet. If he texted me back, it'd be really short little answers. Like, he just wasn't talking to me. He had told me we'd do something for Christmas before he left. We didn't end up doing anything, and he avoided me. And I was losing it. I was freaking out inside. My emotions were just going crazy. I thought, oh my gosh, he's pulling away. He knows he's leaving. I love him. Oh my goodness, what's going on? So I started really losing it. And the day before he was leaving back to where he lives for Christmas, I was calling him. I texted him, he wasn't answering, and I got so upset. I was like, what's going on? You're so weird, something like that. And he wasn't replying. And I said to him, and it was true, I had a celebrity crush, a guy that I was really obsessed with for years. And not only because he was a celebrity, I actually really genuinely, I had met the guy many times and I really liked him. And this guy wrote to me about meeting up with him, and I just was like, no, like, I didn't even go for it. I didn't want to go for it at all because of my love for my twin, which blew me away. If you would have known how I was before, this was insane. Like, that was a sign to me, like, no, like, I'm not even committed to this guy. Why would I turn down the other guy? Like, so I said to my twin, you know what? I could have met with this other guy and I didn't because of you. And then I got the reaction back. My twin flipped out. He was like, do you know what? Maybe he's come at the perfect time. I'm out of here anyways. And I was devastated. And I was like, trying to deal with it. And the emotions were so high. My pain levels were so high. He was just like, and I started freaking out. And I was all upset. I was like, fine. Again, I was running myself to it. Fine, it's over. We're done. Like, whatever. And he was just like, yeah, whatever, goodbye. And I was like, I'm gonna go to your apartment and get my stuff. I had a key. And he's like, oh, your key doesn't work anymore. And it was so bad. So he left to go home for Christmas. I'm devastated, in complete and utter pain. And again, I do my Twitter creeping, and I'm looking and I'm seeing that he's with his ex at a cabin. And my heart sank. I thought, oh my God, no wonder he's been distant. He's getting back with her. It's right in front of my face. And she had even put up a post, and I took a screenshot of it, referring to him as her BF, like her boyfriend. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder, like, they're back together. And I didn't speak to him over the holidays, and I was just thinking, get over it. He's going back to his ex. We're done anyways. And look at, we have all these problems. Like, it's no good anyways. Just get over it. But every day, thinking about him, like obsessing about him, checking social media, freaking myself out. Like, why am I acting like this? Why am I doing this? This doesn't make sense. Soon after that, he was set to come back, but just for a short time. And I reached out to him. I had reached out even before that. He ignored me. I just said, I miss you, like, on Facebook. He just ignored me. Again, I was devastated. Trigger, pain, depression. Just, oh my God, what have I done? Things were horrible at home with my ex. He was still staying in the same home with me, and he's just hating on me because I'm, like, trying to push him away. This is all happening. Oh my God, my stress was off the charts. I look back at that time and can't believe I made it through in a way. It was so rough. So he came back, and I wrote him again, and I just said, look, I don't know what happened with us. I don't hate you. I at least would like to be friends. I understand. I get it that you've gone back with your ex. And he replied, and he's like, look, I haven't gone back with my ex. And I admitted to him, well, I saw her stuff on Twitter, and I sent it to him, and he's like, what? Like, we're not back together. Yeah, I spent Christmas with them, but we're not back together. He sends me, like, some proof that they're not back together, like like screenshots of a discussion they had. it was just so, I was like, okay, does he still like me? But then he was still just pushing me away. He was like, do you know what? You telling me about that other guy, you hurt me so badly. And I'm thinking, how did that hurt you? I'm telling you that I didn't go for him because of my love for you. And it didn't matter what I said. He's just like, no, I don't care. Like, you hurt me. You're just like other girls. Like, I think he was scared. Like, you're just the type who's going to try to make me jealous and throw stuff in my face. I get it. I know what you're like. And at that time, I wouldn't have known what I know now, which are major trust issues. So we tried talking it out, and I thought everything was at peace, and I said, look, can I come by and get my things and just give you a hug goodbye? And he's like, yeah, that'd be fine. And literally again kept avoiding me. I would call him, text him. Again, I was never super pushy and aggressive. I would give some space. I'm an empath, I feel the energy. But I would try, just once in a while, like, oh, can I come by now, or what's going on? And he wouldn't let me. And it came to the day that I knew he was leaving, like, for good, and he didn't call me. And again, my pain, my devastation, and I was like, where's my stuff? Like, I literally had, like, a lot of stuff at his place that I had left there. I thought, it's gone, and he's gone. Like, wow, I can't even believe he would do this to me. I can't believe it. Like, my stuff must be in the garbage. He doesn't care. He's just leaving. He obviously didn't care about me at all. He doesn't even say a word to me. He wrote me from when he was back at home. He had been there probably a couple days, and he finally wrote me. And he just said, your stuff is there in the apartment. You can still go to the front desk. They'll let you in. I'm sorry I left without a goodbye. And I was just like, okay. And he's like, that's it. And I'm like, I don't get you. You confuse me. I don't get this, And again, he just said I'd really hurt his feelings with what I had said. And I said, well, you hurt my feelings with all this stuff with your ex. I saw that you were with her, and we're kind of bickering. But then by the end of this conversation, it's him saying, he's not with his ex. He really does miss me. He really does, have feelings for me and all this. But, what can we do now? We're thousands of miles apart. And I'm like, I want to see you again. I would fly out there in a heartbeat. And he was just like, that would be amazing. And I was like, we can make this work, And he's like, I really do miss you. And he's admitting stuff. But again, it was just, I missed him so badly, and I didn't know what the future would hold. And we would keep in touch, but there was this distance for sure. My birthday came and went, and he didn't even know it was my birthday. I was really, really sad, I remember. Then Valentine's Day came, and he just wrote me kind of like, Happy Valentine's, like a text. Like, he didn't even call me, and again, I was like devastated. My expectations, he wasn't meeting them. Repeatedly. My pain is definitely rejection. If I back up my life, I was sort of an accidental pregnancy. My dad wanted nothing to do with me, so I've carried this pain of rejection my whole life. My mom had sent me to go live with my grandma for a couple years when she was going through stuff. So again, I even sort of felt rejected by my mom, that I feel like I've built a wall of protection. And like I say, with my exes, I was just like one foot out the door always. Like, do you know what? I don't even care if you reject me. If you want to find another woman, I don't care. I'm already somewhat disconnected because I don't ever want to feel vulnerable to anybody again like that, because I don't want to ever be hurt. And here this guy was just hurting me to the core. I was more vulnerable than ever. So we kept speaking for months and months, just here and there. It'd be difficult at times. I wouldn't hear from him, and I would have to just really be patient. It would really try my patience. But we would keep in touch, and he found out that he was going to come back and work here again, but not until the fall. Like, this was in the winter time when he left, and he'd be coming back in the summer. I was so joyous. And in a way, I felt like, wow, like it's crazy that, maybe it's meant to be, that he's coming back. I can't believe it. Like, what are the chances? And the way that he got to come back, like, no one else in the first project that he was working on got to come back, only him. Like, it was very precise that it was really huge to me that he was the one chosen to come back. So I knew he was coming back. So we kept talking and talking, again, just very randomly, here and there. And all of a sudden, he was going to be coming back, and all of a sudden, he just got really distant again, totally quiet. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's coming back soon, and now he's ignoring me again. What's going on? It turned out, I found out later, him and his ex were fighting a lot. She found texts between us and got really upset and flipped out on him.